All right, this question is, a book has 500 pages. If the book has 25 chapters, and each chapter is 20 pages long, what is the chance of randomly opening the book to chapter 12? All right, so we have to know about probability, the chances that something will happen. In this case, the probability of randomly opening the book and it's at chapter 12. So probability is going to be expressed as a fraction. The numerator is the specific outcome that you're trying to have happen, opening to chapter 12. The denominator is the total amount of outcomes. So it's a fraction, specific outcome, total outcomes for the denominator. Okay, so the strategy we're going to use is we're going to draw a picture. And we can ignore the extra information. There's some extra information in this problem that you could use, but you don't have to. The extra information actually makes it a little bit more complicated. Okay, so let's draw the picture. I'm going to draw just a big rectangle that's going to represent the start of the book all the way to the end of the book. Okay, I'm going to try to break this book up into chapters. So again, not that the book literally is a big rectangle, but I'm just kind of visualizing that there's this big book and it's broken into chapters. So there are 25 chapters. I'm going to try to do my best to break this into 25 equal spaces. let's see how well I did. So again, I'm pretending that that it's a great rectangle that I've drawn, and that each little space is evenly depicted here. Not that it's actually that way, but that's the intent. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 chapters. Okay, so each one of these little rectangles represents one of the 25 chapters. So how many chapter 12s are in the book? Because we're going to try to find the probability that we open it up to chapter 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here's chapter 12 right there. How many chapter 12s are in the book? Only one of them. So the specific outcome that we want, there's only one chapter 12. How many total chapters are in the whole book? Well, we just counted them and there are 25. So it's actually that easy. The probability of getting chapter 12, you've got one chance to get there out of 25. That's the answer, 1 out of 25. So again, for me, drawing the picture, even though it's not the greatest picture in the world, but it helped me just understand what the problem is representing. Helped me visualize the chapter 12 out of all the total chapters. Now, if you did want to actually look at the extra information, you could do that and you'll still end up with the same answer. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's say we wanted to look at all the pages, which I ignored that there were 20 pages per chapter. It was important that each chapter is even and the same amount of length. That was important to the problem, which is why I tried to draw my picture with the same size rectangles in each to represent each chapter. But so let's say the specific outcome, how many of the pages are actually in chapter 12? So all the chapters have 20 pages, so there's 20 different pages that I could open up to that would be chapter 12. Out of how many total pages for the whole book? And it told us the whole book had 500 pages. Okay, so we could say that the answer is 20 out of 500. However, we'd want to simplify that fraction. For example, you could divide the numerator by 10 because it ends in a 0, and you could divide the denominator by 10 because it ends in a 0. So 20 out of 500 is equivalent to 20 divided by 10 is 2, and 500 divided by 10 is 50. So it's actually a 2 out of 50 chance. We could simplify 2 out of 50. They're both even, which means they're both divisible by 2. And so 2 divided by 2 is 1. 50 divided by 2 is 25. And that's our simplest form of fraction, which is the same answer as we got the first way. So my preference is really to ignore the extra information as far as like the pages, and just think about that there's one chapter out of 25 that you're trying to get. But again, if you wanted to look at the pages, that's the extra information. You could get that it was 20 pages out of 500, then simplify that fraction to get the answer 1 out of 25. So upon first reading that problem, it definitely seemed like it would be more complicated than it really was.